just a quick idea that I was actually asking Ugandans that what makes you a Ugandan? What are those special things that make you a Ugandan? I'll be returning and I will actually take you through the replies I've been getting from my Twitter poll when I was actually asking the same question. What makes you Ugandan? Because we are on a journey where I want to understand that Ugandans, what makes us Uganda is that we are the Pearl of Africa. But then, what makes you as an individual a Ugandan? Okay, let's get into our stories. As we start off with Imuka Access takes local entrepreneurs through rehearsals in preparation for the 25th of November Peach Fest. Imuka Access occasionally organizes capacity building workshops and events to equip these local entrepreneurs with knowledge of what investors are looking for before putting their money in a venture. The Peach Fest is an event where entrepreneurs pitch in their ideas to access finances for their business growth. As last year, the Peach Fest held in Kampala recorded a success rate of 75%, which aroused interest from the entrepreneurs in the whole country. Bahati Ali and Pedison Mumbere report.
A Ugandan-based Imuka Access has made its primary mission to help small and medium enterprises to raise money and link interested investors to such business. To achieve that, they have a regional event, the Peach Fest, which is organized across the country for business to pitch to a panel of local investors. Imuka Access has again taken local entrepreneurs through rehearsals in preparation for yet another 25th November Peach Fest.
We have tomato powder, onion powder, carrot powder, mango powder, strawberry, and a range of other products according to the demand that we have from customers. But the highest demand that we have is orange powder, tomatoes, carrots, and strawberry.
Imuka Access occasionally organized capacity building workshops and events to equip these local entrepreneurs knowledge of what investors are looking for before putting their money in a venture. The Peach Fest is an event where entrepreneurs pitch in their ideas to access finance for their business growth. Last year, the Peach Fest held in Kampala recorded a success rate of 75%, which aroused interest from entrepreneurs in the whole country.
It's going to the 3rd, 4th, 5th district. When you've not maximized the 900,000 households which are near you, you're going to create a problem of distribution to Iganga or to Masaka or to wherever. Unless an impact investor says go to Masaka, I would stay and look at the households within Wakiso.
They make sure these businesses have done due diligence and have the necessary documents and a full registered business with the Uganda Registry Service Bureau.
Imuka Access is keen to help entrepreneurs who are doing amazing things, innovating things in the community to be able to expand and scale their solutions not only to the national but the international level. And one of the initiatives we are doing into making this possible is the Peach Fest. And the Peach Fest is an event that brings together entrepreneurs, and they are trained to refine their business ideas before they are presented before financiers and investors. Now, we are going to have this event on the 25th of November. This is Thursday, and where these amazing entrepreneurs, very unique solutions, are going to pitch their businesses to access financing to scale their businesses to the next level.
Congratulations to Roy and team, to the team for what they are doing. I think Peach Fest is an amazing initiative. I hope that we'll be still talking about Peach Fest in the next 10 years. It's giving a lot of opportunities to entrepreneurs who otherwise wouldn't have a platform like this to express themselves, to share their dreams, to look for help, right? And I think he and his guys are doing this. So Imuka Venture is doing something extraordinary, and we need to support them, okay? And they need to continue also.
Can never be 100% ready, but it's a journey. And what we did today was really to get them confident in front of a panel, try and give them the basics or specific aspects towards pitching, which was a very good experience. Each entrepreneur had 5 minutes, and they we had feedback for them, so they are now going back to work on their pitches and make sure that they are improving their pitches to be able to. One big problem is they get caught up with time. They tell the story, probably tell a little more than they need to, and then they forget the important things that they need to say. So this was just a session to help them box them into the necessary hooks that you can't forget during a pitch to investors.
Last year, the Pitch Fest held in Kampala recorded a success rate of 75%, which aroused the interest from entrepreneurs in the whole country.
In preparation for the 25th November Pitch Fest, Imuka Access occasionally organizes such capacity building workshops and events to equip these local entrepreneurs with knowledge of what investors are looking for before putting their money into a venture. Trust me, when businesses are actually ongoing, there are things that people need to know. That as an entrepreneur, whenever a business is actually setting up, there are a lot of things that people know. Oh, there are a lot of things that people do at the end of the day. There are a lot of things that people do but have challenges with. More so the entrepreneurs, the young innovators, because some of them have the financial assistance, they don't have anyone to motivate them. There are very few people coming in there. So with such workshops and more so the capacity building workshops are always there to equip the local entrepreneurs with knowledge. Not only knowledge, look at the idea of, you see these young people deserve opportunities and platforms. And at the end of the day, Imuka Access gives the platform. And if you look at the Pitch Fest, one would ask, what is the Pitch Fest? This is an event where entrepreneurs pitch in their ideas to access finances for their business growth. So you bring in your idea for available investors to actually, for the available investors to actually give you money. Because these are investors out there who are supposed to give you the money that you need to build your project. If your project is a big one, look at the incidents whereby you are a young individual who has something in science and technology and you want to add something to it. What you definitely do is to make sure you get the finances and the support. And once you get the support, then that means it's actually going to be. Uganda-based Imuka Access has made it a primary mission to help small and medium enterprises to raise money and link interested investors to such businesses. To achieve that, they have a regional event, the Pitch Fest, which is organized across the country for businesses to pitch to a panel of the local investors. Imuka Access has again taken local entrepreneurs through rehearsals in preparation for yet another 25th Pitch Fest. So these, if you look at last year, the Pitch Fest held in Kampala recorded a success rate of 75%, which aroused interest from entrepreneurs in the whole country. And still, Imuka Access believes that this year's Pitch Fest will also attract more and more entrepreneurs, which will actually give room for investors to come and tap into these opportunities. Moving on, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development has directed the Ministries of Health and Education and Sports to implement the presidential directive, which has since been amended in response to concerns from donors and experts over its likely effects. This is part of the directive by President Yoweri Museveni earlier in the year that the construction projects of the Ministry of Health and that from the Ministry of Sports and Education should be under the National Enterprise Corporation, rather the National Enterprise Commission, and implemented by the Uganda People's Defence Force Engineering Brigade. More of the details.
The Ministry of Health, together with the Ministry of Education and Sports, are due to hand over the government-funded projects to the Army's engineering unit for implementation by the end of this month. This is part of the directive from President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni earlier this year that the construction projects in the two ministries be under the National Enterprise Commission and implemented by the Uganda People's Defence Force Engineering Brigade. The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development has now directed the two ministries to implement the directive, which has since been amended in response to concerns from the donors and experts over its likely effects. Since the President's view were made public back in July, they have raised controversy from the public and the engineering fraternity over its objectives, expected impact on the industry and its legality. There are fears that the directive by the President violates the national procurement laws that provide for the competitive bidding for projects, but also that is likely to crowd out private sector players. In a November 8, 2021 letter, the President directed the Ministry of Finance to process finances for the projects that are fully funded by the government immediately. This has also seen the Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets Authority and the Ministry of Finance make adjustments in procurement procedures to fit the President's directive to avoid legal mistakes. The head of communications at PPDA, Chris Magoba, says that the directive of the President and of the Finance Ministry are being implemented in accordance with the laws. Now, the Ministry of Finance has in turn directed the Health and Education to hand over the government-funded projects to the UPDF Engineering Brigade by November 26th for implementation. Regarding externally funded projects, the Minister says these will follow stipulated